maybe it's to your employees and those types of things and using those techniques. So it's possible. Maybe you worked with a life coach or something like that. Or I've seen a lot of people moving from health coaching over to financial coaching. So there's any number of reasons that you might have a lot of coaching knowledge and a lot of personal financial knowledge or personal finance knowledge. Now, I will say this. This is a moment for you to be self-aware about what your skills are, and if you're worried about it, that's not proof that you aren't adequate there. But what I would probably say is I would probably reach out to some people that know you pretty decently and ask them. If you aren't sure if you have a lot of personal finance knowledge, you should ask someone who knows you and say, would you think of me as someone who's a personal finance expert? If they're like, oh, I've never thought of you as an expert. I see that you're interested in it, but I mean, I'm interested in it too. I just don't talk about it as much as you do, but I read Barron's and blah, blah, and you might be surprised how much other people know. Or on the coaching knowledge, you might have taken a Udemy course on coaching, which, are fine, but, for 2 or 3 hours, how much information will you get on those? And you might think you know it all, and you might want to ask people, as a coach, as someone who mentors or talks or consults or tries to inspire people, what do you think of my skills in that realm? And people might say, I never really thought of you as kind of overly charismatic and, maybe a leader of people. These are all good signs that, you might have what it takes to do these coaching types of roles. And so, if people are worried about it, then, kind of skew yourself to some of these other areas. There's no problem in doing more. But if you think you're good and you're not that good, it's going to be really hard to improve. So one of the things that I just ask is, take a step back, think outside yourself. Have I gotten feedback that I'm really good in this? Does it show up in my job reviews? Am I asked about these things? Or do people ask me a lot for advice? Whatever it might be. And again, asking people who are willing to be honest with you. If you're asking people who maybe always tell you that the sun always shines wherever you're walking, well, then maybe those aren't the right people to ask. But sometimes I say, hey, listen, I'm not looking for accolades. I'd really love your honest opinion. In fact, I'm not even actually looking for you to point out the roses, just the thorns, right? Let's just start there, and I'm going to be really open, and it might hurt a little bit, but it's a good exercise.